All right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
After the Rain, episode 12, the
right,
finale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, things don't seem to be like as close as we would have originally thought to them ending up together that we would have at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going after Condo's going after his dream.
Yes, so they're each tackling this from different perspectives. In a lot of ways, Tachibana is the one that is being, as she is kind of the primary main character, being left with, I would say, the final bit of conflict left in her court.
Right.
She needs to decide what she wants most.
Right.
And I don't think that this show is trying to pin her into choosing something that, means she has to throw away the other thing. But it's that...
But she is taking that approach right now.
She is taking that approach right now. And I like how maybe in some ways Condo's a more measured, mature approach, given that he just had this great talk with Chihiro, or great kind of encounter meeting up again with Chihiro. He now has the perspective of realizing how much value the time he had when he was young to take a hold of that passion and run with it.
Yes.
This is as far as it can go, pun intended. So, yeah.
So what's going to happen with them?
What's going to happen with them?
And what's going to happen for Tachibana herself?
Yeah, and Haruka as well. So, y'all, this is it. And stay tuned until the end of this reaction for us to talk about what show is going to be replacing After the Rain.
Yes.
So without further ado, y'all, let's get into it. She timing herself? Oh, how fast she got out of bed due to her injury, in that she has improved.
I just got to say, though,
one,
it's really cool to see his new hairstyle like this.
Yeah.
But like that part where he was actually writing, that looked very cool. Pulled an all-nighter. Didn't he at one point say
with the audio?
Huh?
There we go.
But at one point didn't he say that, like, oh, I'd never be able to pull an all-nighter again. I'm too old.
Oh, sure.
But what do you know?
You did it.
Yep.
Each SukiなんですSukiなんですLa la, I'm in love.
That always gets me. That and the llamas.
Right.
Career plan?
Yeah. All the sounds are being heavily accentuated.
Oh, yeah. She gonna see if she can toss the airplane into the... Oh, but she doesn't throw it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tachibana just Tatsubana.
Wow.
Ah. The determination.
Yep.
And they're outside. Aww.
やだからもうやりたいことがあるってすっごいっすよ西田さん。
そうかな。
西田さんはいつ決めたんす？
Huh?
美容師になりたいって思ったきっかけとか。
Cool. I love how they bring in the bubbles when someone has these
自分の
feelings
好
and
きな
stuff.
ことで誰かが喜んでくれるのっていいなって思ったの。それに
Hmm.
気づかせてくれたのは最初に髪切った時その人がすごく喜んでくれたから。
Oh.
本当になれるかどうかわからないけどね。
きっとなれるっす。
Did he clue in?
I don't
西田
think
さんが
so.
デビューしたら俺絶対切ってもらうっす。
I think he might have.
切ってください
Yeah.
約束っすよ。
That's so sweet.
昇進よ。
マジっすか。
No way.
本社に行かないわよ。昇進したらどうなるんですか？本社に転勤。
And someone will get to his replacement, and she's excited about that. Yep, yep. Ah, no way, no way.
Dang.
Okay. Now the question is, does he actually go to the head office, or is he actually
Writing?
just writing during that time?
Oh, sure. Didn't think about that.
雨降りそうだけどハードル出しとこ。
Since then and stuff. Oh,
グラウンドが空に浮かんでるみたい。
my heart.
名前がいいよね。風を見る高校。ここで一緒に風を見よう。
Oh.
早い？え？足。まあまあ。教えてよ。え？
Oh.
いい。
Oh. Chucks the pencil.
Yeah.
今のいい感じ。一休みしようか。やだ。まだゴールしてないもん。諦めるなって。諦めるな。
It sounds a lot like her
転
name.
んだっていいんだって。起き上がって走れば諦めずに。
Oh, you're right. It is. It is.
Yeah.
ちゃんとゴールしないとダメなんだ。お前と一緒にお父さんも頑張るって。
Mm.
諦めないって。
And did he say it just like that?
Yeah, yeah. Don't give up. Even if you don't get what you want out of it, keep going. Because you can still effectively get last place. You can... Oh, wow. Show.
今日ユウトに走り方を教えてくれたんだって。あいつすっかり興奮しちゃって怒ってた。ずっとその話。
走り切れます。ゴールまで。お父さんとの約束ですもんね。
Promised you.
約束なんて言っちゃうとあれだけど、ユウトと一緒に自分の
Yeah.
約
Uh-huh.
束をし直したんだ。
Again.
Right.
Right.
He had made a promise
話にな
before.
っていた。
Mhm.
小説ですか？
うん。ただ一つ、文学に寄り添い生きると交わした自分との約束。これだけは果たしたいと思ってる。シフト表遅くなって申し訳ない。
Oh.
一応希望通りに組んだんだけど。
Is he not on there?
その
ありがとうございます。
No, I think he's still there. I think he's just still...
もしかしたらTachibanaさんにもあるんじゃない？忘れている自分との約束が。
Ah. There it is. There it is. Whoa.
風を見る高校だ。はるか、ママ。
Oh.
アキラ。はい、オッケー。
Oh.
ありがとう。
Oh my god. That's so cute.
ちょっと今日は非常に重大かつ重
Yep,
要
here it
な
is.
発表をいたします。
ついに。
I'm quitting.
Yep, I'm quitting. Yep, exactly.
マジっすか。
本社において厳しいレクチャーを受けテストに臨みましたが、その結果中止になっちゃいました。
昇進試験じゃなかったんですか？
これ新メニュー。
Oh.
ほら、
Oh.
ここ見て。
That's
こ
all?
の目玉
Oh,
すっごく難しいの。いや本当。
the other one's left
う
already.
ちの店だけ発売が遅れるってことです。
Oh my gosh.
申し訳ないのはお客様にです。
Cool.
Just look
cool.
both ways before crossing the street.
Right. That was when she got injured? Oh. Oh.
And then the clap's gonna fade into her steps. Oh, okay.
That would have been
Kind
a
of.
really cool transition.
戻っておいでよ。
Maybe the claps will come back for the steps. Oh.
And using the rendition of the ending again.
一緒に風を見よう。約束。店長。
立花さん。
大丈
Mm-hmm.
雨はもう上がります。
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, of course
Not
they
at
do
all a
this.
gorgeous shot.
Of course they do that.
はいもしもしはいはい。
Wow. Stupid phone.
申し訳ないです。
Whoa.
待って。
はいなるほどいいですね。
What?
失礼します。
Holy crap.
立花さん。
Yes, 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 and the hair's down. Yes. Oh. Ah. Wow. Wow.
僕らそれぞれが約束を果たしたら
I'll race you there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
I'm a pretty good runner. I'm gonna get there before you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely excellent. Wonderful.
I can't clap yet. Show's not over. Yep, yep.
Oh.
She's gonna cry immediately.
Right. Yeah. Whoa. And the way she's transparent there.
忘れない
He is too.
Mhm.
Oh, that's excellent. That is excellent.
明日を教えてくれた人を思い出す。
Wow. And the way they made. Okay. Yeah.
見るたびに。
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That part where she just turns and runs back to him as soon as he says her name, that just like the visual like imagery and everything for this episode was so good.
Nothing but you're a part of me. Dari dari makute. Dari ginende. What a good thing we lose. What a bad thing we knew. What a good thing we lose. What a bad thing we knew. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we covered, I would say, most everything.
Yep.
Just enough that I can call this a good ending, but I would say visually and in terms of just the presentation and also the little subtle things that they were kind of just dropping throughout the episode. Yeah, this was a great finale.
There was a constant drip of those things, would you say? Yeah.
I'm too emotionally compromised right now to laugh at puns, but like
this was great.
This was really good.
It was all those little things that they threw in there that just made it. Like,
what was the one you caught that I didn't?
The fact that the when they went out to do the track running and they had
the hurdles.
The hurdles, on the hurdles.
They were too
never old.
Never old was on the hurdles.
Yep, and her hand was like covering like the R on never or something like that.
Wow.
But you could like piece it together from
That's
the two of
them. Good.
That's like
That's so good. Now I like also that we didn't get a clear answer because Condo could have been lying about the whole, visits and thing there.
I think that was something to basically build tension towards the ending, and then it being like, no, don't worry, it's not actually that.
Right. So we can just, we'll assume he's telling the truth, and the reason why he, didn't study well maybe was because he was staying up all night writing and stuff. So that's it's probably that the lectures at the main office were not just like, where he needed to do the studying. He needed to do studying on the menu and everything after,
right?
At his own place and stuff like that. That's the rough life of a manager, is that you're never really off hours. You're just working without really getting paid. It's a bit crazy of a life to live. I love how they weaved everyone kind of recapping a little bit where everyone's conflict was at. And yet, when everything capitulated and we had her basically realizing, I don't need to give up on past promises, on past goals, dreams, in order to realize another one. If anything, we're adults here, and we can be mature about this. There was a lot of, I would say, really good there's a lot of good sidestepping of little tropes by having there being no getting together really at the end. And yet they did the whole, we touch in the sky surrounded by a transcendent, in
a world of glass and oceans and clouds, because
it still feels amazing.
Right, exactly. And one of the, I feel like the whole thing with him being like, no, it's actually just the menu, that was almost them saying like, we're sidestepping the traditional with how this is going to end, you know?
Right.
But they even like resolved, Yui and Yoshizawa in a way, like,
they did.
Like the idea that just because he basically said some kind words about her haircut that was bad, like her first haircut was not good.
Now she wants to get into that.
Exactly. It's the those kind words, those no big deal things that matter the most.
And I think he did clue in because he was blushing when he turned around to her, and it's him basically saying, I'm not brave enough to confess my feelings for you or to reciprocate your near confession in some ways, so I'm just going to be like, yes, I think you should, I will get my hair cut by you, absolutely. And that whole thing will go about. But I want to draw that connection you made with that thing you brought up with Yui and her wanting to learn how to get, be a hairstylist and stuff like that. We have was it Yuto, who wants to be a runner. Now here's the thing I think they were implying that he's not actually that good of a runner.
Right.
Not because he's not been taught yet, but that, like, he was at track and field. He fell probably because he was doing a running race thing and he got in last place.
Right.
So he got in last place and had maybe a little bit of an ego hit. And he knows that Tachibana maybe just because, like,
Yeah.
you know, she's kind of famous in that school specifically for
Well,
running, so he
or-
might have even
Mhm.
heard of her from like something else, or Condo
Or
could have
Condo
been
mentioned
like
it, or
Condo
you know,
mentioned
yeah,
it, yeah.
uh-huh.
But he very targetedly was like, "Hey, do you run?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you quick? Are
Yeah.
you fast? Yeah, I'm fast." It's like, you
Teach
teach
me.
me?
Yeah.
just the
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
and something that he's probably bad at, something that Yui was bad at, and then Tachibana trying to, you know,
Yeah,
basically
reinforce that thing so that way he can put in the effort necessary in order to make it happen.
But I'm saying that if you look at this whole show,
Mm-hmm.
Tachibana jumped into something she wasn't good at. That's
Yes,
where this
that's
whole
true. That's
conflict
very
came
true.
about.
Yeah.
Is that she loved or had a crush, I would say in the beginning, on Condo.
Right.
And so she jumps into it, not knowing what she's doing,
Right.
not being good
Very
at
true.
it, and
Yep.
also it being a situation where her circumstance has put her at a huge disadvantage.
Right.
That
Yeah.
and I'd say that's a similar
Mhm.
thing they're bringing up here, is that although you can have, you know, a huge disadvantage at things, you can go after something that's not really
Mhm.
plausible, or not that it's not plausible, but it's difficult. It's
Right.
and he brings up the whole "don't give up," and you heard Akira's name.
Yeah.
in the
They said
words.
it
It's
again
like, don't-
and again and again.
I think "don't give up" means Akira means "don't give up,"
right,
or something like
some-
that.
Something along those lines.
And
yeah.
it's like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Has this whole thing been about Akira not giving up on not just Condo, you know, like, go fight
Mhm.
on, like, it'll eventually work, but also not giving up anything in exchange for Condo?
Right,
So when
exactly.
she realizes
Yep.
that she has all this past life relationship connection with Haruka, she's like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to give that up. I'm going to... I'm going to have both in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And the fact that Condo and her had that beautiful moment on the sidewalk of
Yep.
just like, hey, let's go chase after our dreams, live
That's
our
right.
promises and stuff, and then
Yep.
let each other know when
Yeah.
you found those, when you...
And if you think about it, they are kind of you made the whole thing of like, I'll race you there.
Yeah.
They are kind of the tortoise and the hare in that sense.
They are.
Tachibana is literally a sprinter,
Uh-huh.
and Kondo is a stamina racer in that he'll stay up all night. You know, like you know, I'm just saying, there's little things here. You know, even down like, and then there's the thing of like when it showed Tachibana's eyes and there was rain on her eyes. Like,
Yeah.
that's not something that would physically be possible for there to be raindrops on your eyes, because your eyes have liquid. They're, you know, they wouldn't stay raindrops, right? But that, like, close-up shots of eyes in anime is one of my favorite things to be done for, like, whenever you're trying to communicate some impressionistic thing or something about the themes, or just having the person be introspective, you know?
Totally.
And that's just one of those things that, you know, visual storytelling, not meant to be taken literally, but absolutely wonderful, you know,
Mhm.
that she's seeing past the rain.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
it's really special.
Yeah.
It's something that it's something that hits me, I would say, really hard, because the whole idea of what this show is about is someone seeing something that's not
close.
not close, I would say, or just not easily attainable.
Right.
Something that's society says no, or something that I don't really know how to describe it.
And in a lot of ways, it's the fact that you have to race after that thing and chase it down. That's what makes it worth it, you know?
Right.
Like, as if it came easily, well, then it comes easy. You know, you don't take those things, like, you take those things for granted all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When they were talking as kids and stuff, let's chase the wind, let's see
Yeah.
the wind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there are these phrases, I think, for some reason, that stick into your long-term memory from young kind of childhood times and stuff like that. And the thing about that one is there's the freedom aspect of it, that the show definitely has a huge theme in regards to it. But they they mentioned something back in like episode 2 or 3 or something really
of the wind running past her ears.
Yeah, basically the feeling, that feeling that they were addicted to.
Right.
And them calling it back up here is something that goes before that part in the earlier episode, because even though I think that part in the earlier episode was a flashback, that was them running. That was them running as like, you know, first years in high school or something like that. This was them just about to go to that school. See? So this is something where that feeling, that joy, that experience was something that they shared together, and they lived it. And what I really like is that when all this story is said and done, Haruka and Tachibana had basically, you know, raced on the wind together. They've had that experience. They made the promise then, and in some ways they fulfilled it by doing, you know, the running thing in high school and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to subvert this show's whole thing of she doesn't actually have a promise to, you know, upkeep or to uphold or anything. What I'm saying is that she in some ways is choosing the timing of this, and I think it's a mature thing for Tachibana, not just because there's some goal she's going after, because I think that's what separates her, what do they call it specifically, the thing that they were going to chase after. At the end of the episode, there was a verbiage, there was a specific word they called their thing that they were going after. What were they said? The promise? They called it promise.
Yeah,
they called it their promise. I don't think Tachibana's is necessarily a promise. Here's why.
Okay.
And I think that's actually kind of cool. I might be reading way too deep into this, and the show might not have, you know, thought about it on this level.
But that's why art's great, you know.
Well, right. But just run with me here on this, guys. I think more or less what Tachibana kind of promised was being with Haruka. Now
that there's more to our friendship than track
and
field.
No. Oh, sure. But I'm not talking about it in any kind of thing of defining the relationship or any kind of romantic way or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm meaning about their friendship being something like that is not limited by that. She's not going to throw the friendship away. She's not going to give up Haruka.
Right.
Because they were close. Like, they were really close.
And when they were in middle school, that was one of the things they talked about. If anything, that was kind of the promise that they made to each other.
Yes.
You know, is that we'll, you know, like we'll go to the same high school, and, you know, we'll meet back up and stuff, and it'll be great.
And I think what Tachibana is realizing is that she doesn't have to dump Haruka basically in order to be with Condo at some point. And if anything, I think the beautiful thing of how Haruka was juxtaposed with Chihiro when Chihiro was brought into the story is that Chihiro in some ways like missed the relationship he had with Condo. It was like something that once they met up again and stuff, it was like, I'm just gonna bump into your house and like just occupy it for a little bit, you know, just wait for you, you know, here to get.
It's been over 10 years, but no time's passed really. I mean, come on.
Right, but that level of closeness is something that's built up after a long time of, you know, good relationship, trust, and all that. So I think it's cool that Tachibana has maybe even the foresight to see, because she wasn't given this lesson by Condo. There was no Chihiro, what we have together, Tachibana, you're missing out on that. They specifically approached it from the show's angle of the running thing from Kondo's perspective.
Sure, but
Haruka was very much the focus of it from the show's omniscient perspective.
Although we did get Condo saying that bit that he said to Tachibana that was really good of I can't remember exactly the words that he used.
Oh, you think he mentioned Haruka?
Well, no, not Haruka.
Friendship?
Not Haruka. Or friendship or anything like that, but just he was talking about in general, I think, I wonder if there's something a promise that you've forgotten, basically.
Yeah, he said that in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking, but what is that?
Well, I mean, he doesn't, like, obviously it's what it actually is track and field and all that, but Condo doesn't know that. He's talking about it in a general sense.
Right. I don't think he is actually that kind of slow to realize that he does think he thinks it's about running.
Okay, sure.
I think he thinks it's about running.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Okay.
Because of how maybe he saw her run.
Sure.
That
well,
one
and he
time
probably knew that she used to be in track and field or whatever. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe you're right in that he was, talking about it in an all-encompassing way.
Well, and like, not to take away anything from what Tachibana did, because in the end it's her decision, right?
Right, for sure.
And what Kondo says, like, it's a suggestion at best, sure. like it's so it doesn't detract any from what Tachibana did and what she decided to do. It was her decision and she made it, right?
Yep.
And in a lot of ways, I feel like Kondo did what, a good friend would do, is they'd be like, yeah, and you do you. This is just an observation, take it or leave it. If I'm totally off, then, discard it. But, this is what I see,
Yeah.
But
God, that's just
this episode was
a gorgeous way to
like
end it.
Studio Wit. Thank you. You are wonderful, and this was incredible.
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways this is a good kind of show to have been watching for us specifically. I think that a lot of romance shows in general are just rehashing tried and true concepts and stuff. And while this one I think is more concept in the beginning than execution.
Oh, sure. Like the episode with Kase, that was kind of like, oh, okay, why did they have to?
Well, that was, I would say, just reverting to certain certain kind of tropes and stuff.
Yeah.
But once Chihiro was brought into the story, or more or less for me, once they brought up Haruka's,
that episode was fantastic.
Does our relationship mean anything, or does our friendship mean anything outside of track and field? That just kind of told me this show was something special. And at the moment of them having their hug and stuff, that was more awe for me. Actually, the moment where I just absolutely tore up crying was when the text was sent. I was like, she's gonna start crying immediately, and I'm already crying, and there it goes. And then it's just like, well, what'd you do that for?
Yeah,
you supposed
to do that when we find what we've been tracking. Yep. This was great. That would have been really cool though if they timed the clapping from Haruka to her steps, and they kind of did, but not really.
Right.
But that part where, like, because I feel like the part of Tachibana running to him is the perfect callback that has had the character growth behind it, so it really is worth it, of the part where she imagined running back to him and giving him the kiss on the cheek, back in like episode 3 or whatever it was. And that was just fantastic. And oh yes, and I have to mention this too, when it showed them at like their workplace or or whatever, and they were transparent. I loved that so much. Like that's some I don't know what made them think to do that, but that was absolutely genius, because it's like, it's this idea of them moving on. Like you could take it to the spiritual aspect of, like, mostly when you think of someone being transparent, you think like a ghost, right? But then the flip side of that is that well, not really with things being transparent, but like one of the other things about ghosts is like, passing through things. But if you think about it, if they pass through things, is it actually that they're the ghost, or is everything else the ghost, right? Which is real and which isn't? And and because I really liked that basically they had the job, the place where they knew each other, where Tachibana met Condo and all of that stuff in the extra hours and everything, which are all well and good, you know, and then she was transparent there, and then when it showed them at their respective passions, then they were opaque, they were whole. That was just wonderful. That was excellent. I loved it so much.
Okay, I'm really surprised you took it that way. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Which way did you take it?
When I saw that, let me know what you think about this, because when I saw it, this was right after we just had their vision shift.
Okay, yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I saw it as them being like almost a part of the wind, being unfettered, being free.
Sure.
That there was some aspect of them where they became basically the wind, like, you know, ethereal and and non-corporeal and
moving on. Yeah,
and having this. Well, right, but I wouldn't say moving on as something, because that's not like they were static. They weren't moving in the shots, you know.
Sure.
If anything, it seemed like they were just untethered.
Sure. I think we're basically saying the same thing.
Okay.
Just that the things that represent that to us in our minds are different
things,
basically.
Sure.
So, you know.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
But the fact that they did that was excellent, because the thing is, they didn't need to do that. They did not need to, right? We wouldn't have noticed if they didn't, you know, if we didn't know that they did do that, actually. Because it still would have been a great shot if they didn't have them transparent. But that extra little bit,
cool,
changed everything. Yeah. Great
Guys,
show.
After the Rain, we finished it. 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Not much. As you might know, or you might not know, Jacob and I decide from now on
for Tuesdays,
which show we'll react to on an alternating basis. Jacob went first for the first one here. You did After the Rain. I'm choosing for the next one a show that has been on multiple polls in the past.
Yes.
It has not won any of them. I do believe it requires way more attention, and after much deliberation and a little quick Twitch mini poll that we did, shout out, follow our Twitch, link in the description below. We will be watching Land of the Lustrous. Yes, you heard right. Hoseki no Kuni. Yes, a fully 3D anime that is apparently absolutely gorgeous. So we'll be getting into that, and starting next week. So if you want to watch the first episode's reaction of Land of the Lustrous, aka Hoseki no Kuni, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon.
Yep.
You can get early access there for that. And you can get full-length reactions there for After the Rain, hopefully for Land of the Lustrous as well. And any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about stories or just hang out in general and chat about whatever. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.